Another day, another story. The story's name is University Love and Tears. Himari had always been a diligent student. She had worked hard throughout her high school years to secure a place in one of the most prestigious universities in Japan. She was overjoyed when she received the acceptance letter and couldn't wait to start her studies. On her first day at the university, Himari was excited but also a little nervous. She had heard that university life could be tough, but she was determined to make the most of it. As she walked to her first class, she saw a boy walking towards her. He was tall and had a kind smile on his face. Himari felt her heart skip a beat. Over the next few weeks, Himari and the boy, whose name was Yuuto, started to see each other more often. They had a few classes together, and they started to sit next to each other. Himari was over the moon. She had never felt this way before. She could talk to Yuuto for hours, and she found herself thinking about him all the time. However, as time went on, Himari started to realize that Yuuto didn't feel the same way about her. He was friendly, but he never made any romantic overtures toward her. Himari tried to ignore her feelings, but she found it increasingly difficult to do so. One day, Himari decided to tell Yuuto how she felt. She met him after class and poured out her heart to him. Yuuto listened attentively, but when she finished, he shook his head sadly. "I'm sorry, Himari," he said. "I don't feel the same way. I think it's best if we just stay friends." Himari was devastated. She couldn't believe that Yuuto didn't feel the same way about her. She tried to move on, but every time she saw him, her heart ached. Now Hima's heart was not in their studies, although earlier she was very serious about her studies. Before meeting Yuuto, Himari had always been a dedicated student. She had a clear vision of what she wanted to achieve in life, and she knew that getting into a good university was a crucial step toward achieving her goals. Himari was a hard worker and always strived for excellence in her studies. She was constantly pushing herself to do better and to learn as much as she could. She was particularly passionate about science and mathematics and hoped to pursue a career in research one day. Himari was always seeking new challenges, whether it was taking on difficult courses or participating in academic competitions. She was also very disciplined, and she had a strict study schedule that she adhered to religiously. For Himari, studying was not just about getting good grades or impressing others. It was a way for her to expand her knowledge, develop her skills, and prepare herself for the future. She was determined to make the most of her university experience and to become the best student she could be. Then, one day, Yuuto said something that changed everything. "If you love me, Himari," he said, "then top the university." She realized that she had been neglecting her studies since she had met Yuuto. She had been spending all her time thinking about him, and not enough time on her studies. She would focus on her studies and top the university. She would show Yuuto that she was capable of achieving great things. She worked tirelessly, studying late into the night and attending every extra class she could. She barely saw Yuuto during this time, but she didn't care. She was determined to achieve her goal. Finally, the day of the final exams arrived. Himari was nervous but confident. She had studied hard, and she knew that she had done her best. A few weeks later, the results were announced. Himari had topped the university. She had achieved her goal. She was over the moon. She went to find Yuuto and told him the news. He was amazed. "You did it, Himari," he exclaimed. I'm so proud of you." Himari felt a sense of satisfaction that she had never felt before. She had achieved something great, and she had done it for herself. As for Yuuto, well, he was still just a friend. But Himari had learned that there was more to life than just love. She had learned that hard work and dedication could lead to great things. And she had learned that she was capable of achieving anything she set her mind to. Himari was head over heels in love with Yuuto. She had never felt this way about anyone before, and she couldn't imagine being with anyone else. So when Yuuto told her that he only wanted to be friends, she was devastated. But Himari couldn't just give up on her feelings. She knew that she had to try to convince Yuuto that they were meant to be together. She decided to take matters into her own hands and confront him about her feelings. One day, after class, Himari mustered up the courage to talk to Yuuto. "Yuuto, I know you said you only want to be friends," she began, "but I have to tell you how I feel. I love you, Yuuto. I've loved you from the moment I met you, and I can't imagine being with anyone else." Yuuto looked at her with a mixture of surprise and confusion. "Himari, I'm sorry," he said, "but I just don't feel the same way. I don't want to lead you on or give you false hope. I think it's best if we just stay friends." Himari was crushed. She couldn't believe that Yuuto didn't feel the same way about her. She decided to try to convince him one last time. "Yuuto, please," she pleaded, "I know we could be great together. I can make you happy, I know I can. Just give me a chance, please." Yuuto looked at her for a moment before sighing. "Himari, I'm sorry," he said, "but I just don't see us that way. I value our friendship too much to risk losing it over a romantic relationship. I hope you can understand. Himari said that it was you who told me that if you love me, first show it by topping in the university, which I have done. Now you must love me and fulfill your promise." So Yuuto replied that I said all this for your betterment and to get rid of you. I wasn't serious at all and I'm not now. "But what is the reason?" Himari asked. "I love someone else who doesn't love me back at all," Yuuto said. "Perhaps we are both destined to seek a desire that will never be achieved. Forgive me." Saying this, he left. And tears flowed from Himari's eyes. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more stories.